Blondie the Dreaming Girl. Blondie was a dreaming girl. Up in the sky, she didn't see clouds. Instead, Blondie saw flying geese, jumping fish, and fluffy sheep running home. One afternoon, Gogo came outside looking tired. Blondie stopped dreaming. She said, "It's time to go and fetch the water." Blondie stood up and smiled at her feet. "Let's go, feet. You know the way there." Blondie started walking to the tap. She hopped over the rocks. She crept past Mama Nelly's house. She dashed down the path. The line at the tap was long. "Oh no," Blondie said to her feet. "We'll have to wait. Let's stay in line. No dreaming away." "Oh," Blondie thought, "but what's that shining over there? I wonder who lost their shoe. Did it belong to a girl like me? Or something else? And what's that under their cheap? And what's that big shadow? Oh, it's Gogo. Blondie, your bucket nearly rolled away. Sorry, Gogo, I dreamed too far again." They filled up the bucket together. Blondie watched the big sun sink into the hills. "Come, let's go, my dreaming girl," said Gogo. "Look, Gogo, there's a pink big in the sky." "Oh, Blondie, it's just a cloud," Gogo sighed. Blondie took Gogo's hand and they walked home together happily. Little Red Riding Hood. How Little Red Riding Hood loved her grandma. She was the nicest grandma in the world. She smelled like flowers and chocolates, and when she gave cuddles, it was like the entire planet wrapped around you and made you safe and warm. Little Red Riding Hood would have liked to live with Grandma. But Grandma had her own house on the other side of the garden. Little Red Riding Hood loved visiting Grandma at her little house. They would have orange juice and little cakes that Grandma would bake with honey and sprinkles. She had pictures in frames of Little Red Riding Hood and her parents, school pictures and home pictures, pictures at wedding and special occasions. Little Red Riding Hood would cross the garden every day to go and see her grandma. One day, as she was leaving, her mother asked her to take some vegetables to Grandma in a basket. Grandma would make a nice soup with them. So Little Red Riding Hood took the basket of vegetables and skipped through the garden to Grandma's house. The poppies were out and the lavender. The sun shone everywhere and it was so very pretty. But when Little Red Riding Hood skipped around the tea tree bushes, she ran headlong into the big slobbery dog Oscar, who lived next door. "Hey, said Oscar. With his big rubbery lips, he spoke like this. Where are you going, little girl? I'm taking some vegetables to Grandma's house, said Little Red Riding Hood. And we're going to have cakes and orange juice. Grandma's house, slobbered Oscar enthusiastically. That one over there. Yes, that one, said Little Red Riding Hood, and she pointed it out. The little cottage at the end of her garden, with the sunlight falling on it and making everything lovely and yellow. Look, squirrel, barked Oscar, and Little Red Riding Hood looked behind her. She would have liked to see a fluffy, friendly little squirrel, but she couldn't see any squirrel anywhere in the garden, and when she turned to look again, Oscar was gone. No matter. Little Red Riding Hood resumed her walk to Grandma's. Although Grandma was only at the bottom of her garden, it took her a long time because Little Red Riding Hood liked to stop so often along the way, smelling the lovely roses and jasmine and picking up pretty little stones she saw on the path. Eventually, she got to Grandma's house, and when she knocked at the door, she was surprised to hear Grandma's voice, a little hoarse, say, I'm ill in bed, child. Just push the door open and come on inside. Little Red Riding Hood believed in being helpful, so she put the basket down and pushed the door herself. Then she picked the basket back up again and in she wandered. All the curtains were drawn. Grandma was in bed. Little Red Riding Hood could see the broad shape of her under the pink blankets. Come closer, said the husky voice, and so Little Red Riding Hood did. Once she got to Grandma, she was quite surprised. Grandma looked very different to how she had just yesterday. What big eyes you have, Grandma. What a hairy face you have, Grandma. What big teeth you have, Grandma. At that moment, Grandma walked in the back door. Oscar, she scolded, get out of my bed and out of my clothes, dirty dog. Oscar looked very sorry. I just wanted some of Little Red Riding Hood's cake, he said. Oh, you silly old dog, said Little Red Riding Hood. I'm bringing vegetables, silly. It's Grandma who has the cake. And indeed she did. It was warm in the oven and waiting for them. Grandma, Little Red Riding Hood, and Oscar shared them all, and there was not one left. A grasshopper in my bedroom. Every night Hudson didn't want to sleep in his room. It was so much nicer in Mummy and Daddy's bed. But all that changed one day when someone started eating the orange tree. That someone was a grasshopper, a big green grasshopper with funny large eyes, big hopping thighs, and most of all, a chopping little mouth. Daddy caught him in a strawberry They looked at him through the plastic. What were they going to do with him? This orange tree munching rascal. Don't hurt him, said Hudson. Of course not, said Daddy. I was thinking we could find a new place for him. Your bedroom, for example, said Mummy, since you're never in it. Hudson burst out laughing. A grasshopper can't live in my room. Why not? He could sleep in your bed. It would be very cozy for a cold little grasshopper. And the pillow would be so comfortable. He would have the best dreams in the world of warm sunshine and happy grass and orange trees as far as I could see. I hope he wouldn't dream of marshmallows, though, said Mummy. He might wake up and that pillow would be entirely gone. Hudson, still giggling, said, But grasshoppers don't need bedrooms. Why shouldn't they? Said Mummy. He could play with his toys when he was bored. You don't play very often with your toys. He could have a tea party with your teddy bears, added Daddy. Or I'll bet he likes cars. He could race your toy cars all around the floor. In fact, he might even be able to sit in one. He might need you to read him your stories, though, said Mummy then. Do you think he knows how to read? Hudson thought about it. He might have listened at the window while I was practicing my letters. He finally decided. I think he would at least be able to read little words like bee and dog. Perhaps he could read to you then, suggested Daddy. What story do you think a grasshopper would like to read? Something about being hungry, laughed Hudson. Hudson peeked once more at the hungry little grasshopper. I think, though, he said that perhaps he wouldn't have much to eat in my room. You're probably right, said Mummy and Daddy. And maybe, said Hudson, I would like to sleep in my bed tonight. So the hungry little grasshopper did not stay in Hudson's room. They let him free in the front garden, where he might eat other plants that weren't the orange tree. But Hudson still wondered if he might like a little bed of his own. So he made a little bed with a matchbox and put it under that big tree. He also made sure to sleep in his bed every night after that, only so he could read him bedtime stories through the window. I have a friend, she lives in my house. When I am happy, so is she. When I cry, she cries too. But I cannot hear her voice. My friend lives inside the mirror. Come out, I tell her. We will play. She does not come out. I am not happy, I go to sleep. She comes out of the mirror in my sleep and we have fun. We play, we run, we shout and scream together. When I talk to her, she also talks to me. In the morning, my friend will go back into the mirror. But I don't mind at all. We will play again in my dreams. Amazing Daisy. Once upon a time, on a little farm near a little village, there lived a little chicken called Daisy. When I grow up, I want to fly higher, higher into the sky, Daisy said. But all the other chickens laughed at her. You are so weird, they said. We won't play with you anymore. Daisy, we can all flap our wings, but it's very difficult for chickens to fly, Mama told her. Daisy wouldn't give up. Every day she practiced by herself, flapping her wings. Flap, flap, flap. She would flap her wings, but she couldn't lift off the ground. While she practiced, she imagined herself flying high into the sky and looking at the chickens below. She imagined herself flying past the sparrows and past the swallows. Wow, the birds would say, a chicken that can fly. So flap, flap, flap. Every day Daisy would flap her wings. She would lift off the ground but fall down again. I'm never going to fly, Daisy cried to Mama. The others are right. Daisy, you are different from the other chickens. They don't want to fly, but you do. You can do it, Mama said. The following day, Daisy climbed to the top of the chicken coop and flap, flap, flap. She flapped her wings. She flew into the air and flapped her wings and flapped her wings and flapped her wings and bam! The other chickens laughed out loud. Ha ha ha! We told you chickens can't fly. But the next day Daisy climbed even higher, right up to the top of the round dave. Flap, 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 Daisy flapped her wings. She flew into the air and flapped her wings and flapped her wings and flapped her wings and she kept flying. The wind beneath her wings grew stronger and she flew higher and higher. The sparrows and the swallows said, amazing, a flying chicken. And the other chickens wanted to be just like her. They said, oh Daisy, you're amazing. I can try, I can fly. I won't step out. Little sparrow gave a shout. Oh, but you must, said his dad. Don't be scared, Sparrow. Don't be sad. The nest will soon be much too small. The nest will dry, the nest will fall. Little Sparrow took one look down. His tummy squirmed. He gave a frown. But I've never done this before. What if I just fall to the floor? This tree is tall, the wind is strong. My wings aren't big, my wings aren't long. Just don't look down, said his mum. She hugged him tight. He looked so glum. The only wind beneath your wings is a deep sense of confidence. What's that? Asked Sparrow. Looking sad, how can I feel it when I feel so bad? Confidence. See, it lives in your head. It comes and it takes away all of your dread. It tells you that it is okay to try. It tells you that you, little sparrow, can fly. It says to you, jump. Just take the chance to fly or to sing, to weep or to dance. It tells you that you have all the skill for something new, so don't be still. So come, my dear, and flap your wings. Tell yourself you can do this thing. But what? Mamma, what if I fall to the ground? Little sparrow made a sighing sound. Well, said his mum, first give it your best, then try again, like all the rest. I can step out. Sparrow gave a flap and shout. He spread his wings and stepped out of his nest. He jumped and passed his flying test. The seed that grew. Once a girl had an idea. She rolled it, felt the shape of it, tasted it. When she could weigh it in her hands, she took it and put it into the earth. The earth was soft and welcoming. She made it a bed there. She covered it over with the ideas that had come before, warmed it with her heart, and believed that it could be something tall, something wild, something beautiful. She watered it with her sweat as she worked the soil, supporting the precious roots, the strong green stalk that pushed faithfully up towards the sky that knew no limit, towards a point that was not fixed but vast and unknown. Except from the beating of heart and pulsing of blood, the whisper of wind in branches, and the churn of oceans and lakes. Towards a nest undiscovered, tearing up the stalk, pressed and persisted, encouraged all along by the girl. And when it reached the place perfect for it, it knew that what to do without her. It unfurled gorgeous beyond all expectation and let off tiny blooms that carried in the wind. Babies got the hiccups. Baby likes to drink nice milk, which warms up his tummy. Ah, oh, baby's got the hiccups. Baby likes to sit in his chair by the window, watching the friendly trees wave their long branches at him. Ah, oh, baby's got the hiccups. Hic, hic, hic. Baby likes to listen to the chatty birds on the veranda, tweeting and singing happy songs. Ah, oh, baby's got the hiccups. Hic, hic. Baby likes to feel the cool breeze on his cheeks when he is being pushed around in his pram. Ah, oh, oh, baby's got the hiccups. Hic, hic, hic. Baby likes to have his little toes softly tickled. Hic, hic, hic. Ah, oh, baby's got the hiccups. Baby likes to splash his legs in the bath. Splish, splash, splosh. Hic, ah, oh, baby's got the hiccups. Baby likes to feel mummy's murmuring kisses as he's snugged up in a blanket. Ah, oh, baby's got the hiccups. Hic, hic, hic. Baby likes the sound of big sister singing to him as she dances with him in her arms. Ah, oh, baby's got the hiccups. Hic, 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 hic. Baby likes the feel of his hair being brushed with soft long strokes. Hic, hic. Ah, oh, baby's got the hiccups. Baby likes to watch his hands as they turn slowly in front of his face. Hic, hic, hic. Ah, oh, baby's got the hiccups. Baby likes to have his back rubbed big hands, smoothing him up and down. Hic, hic, hic. Ah, oh, baby's got the hiccups. Baby likes to goo and grunt and grimace and giggle. Hic, hic, hic. Ah, oh, baby's got the hiccups. Baby likes that dreamy, warm feeling when after a big day, he just starts to drop off to sleep. Ah, oh, baby's got the hiccups. Hic, hic, hic. Baby doesn't really like the hiccups. Fifi and Teddy. Fifi has loved Teddy since she was a baby. Fifi eats with Teddy. Fifi plays with Teddy. Fifi takes Teddy wherever she goes. And they curl up together every night. Fifi knows she cannot take Teddy to school, so every morning she leaves Teddy on her bed. One day when she comes back from school, Teddy is not there. What's wrong, Fifi? Asks Mom. Teddy is missing. No, darling, Teddy just had a bath. There you are, Teddy. Let's be friends. It's time to make some friends. Making friends can be hard, but let's try. Hello, hi. Do you like to swim? So do I. Let's be friends. Oh dear. Hello, hi. Do you like seashells? So do I. Let's be friends. Oh my. Hello, hi. Are you a fish? So am I. Let's be friends. Oh no. Nobody wants to be my friend. Knock knock. Let's be friends. Speedier than a meteor. I live in Seattle, Washington. I know what you're thinking. You're just like my cousin who came up here from Los Angeles thinking that everybody in the Northwest lives in the forest. I live in the city, the inner city, and there aren't many trees on the street where I live. My name is Shaquille O'Neal, and no, not that one. I love my name, and at the same time, I hate my name. My mom and dad are big basketball fans, and when I was born, they thought the real Shaq was better than the smell of a new car. About the only things Shaq and I have in common are that we are both black, have the same name, and love basketball. There are a few things that we don't share. He is in his 30s and I am in my 9s. He is very tall and I am very short, even for being in my 9s. He is the best basketball player in the world, and I am the worst basketball player in the world. Plus, he is rich, and I am poor. Like him, I love basketball. It is the best sport in the world. There is nothing better, but last year was the worst. The We usually start playing basketball in the late September. Every Saturday, without fail, the Central District's Boys and Girls Club sponsors league play for all age groups. My age group 9 to 11 is the biggest. As usual, my dad was excited about basketball season. After getting home from the cleaners where he works, and all through dinner, all he talks about is basketball. Most of all, he talks about me playing basketball. I am his very own personal Shaquille O'Neal. But my dad never figured out that I wasn't very big. At 8 years old, I was barely tall enough to look over the kitchen counter. A basketball was almost bigger than I was, but I tried really hard because Like I said, I like basketball. It just didn't start out liking me. My dad would drive me to the Boys and Girls Club at 8 o'clock every Saturday morning on his way to work. He would stop in at the donut shop and get coffee, hot chocolate, and some glazed donuts. As he slurped his coffee and munched a donut, he would talk about how much fun I was going to have. Then he'd drop me off, and I would stand around until they unlocked the doors at 9 o'clock. Then I would go inside and stand around until they started choosing teams. Then I would stand around while they choose everybody else. Then I would stand around being the only one left. Then somebody would have to pick me. But coach, he is too little. Ah, but with Shaquille O'Neal on your team, you can't help but win. Then everyone would laugh. The team would pick me, and everyone would make fun of me because of my name and my size. Then I would sit around while all the other kids played basketball. Then I would stand around after they closed the Boys and Girls Club and wait for my dad to pick me up after work. Then I would tell my dad how great I was and how much fun I'd had. Then we would go home and I would go into my room and feel really mad. Why did I have to be so small? And why did I have to have such a big name? It wasn't until the end of November that I got to really play at all. It wasn't that I got better because I hardly got to play until then. It was just that a lot of kids went away for Thanksgiving weekend, and then it was the beginning of flu season. I didn't get sick, and I got to play on one of the teams almost regularly. The only problem was that I still couldn't play worth beans. I was shorter than short and I could barely dribble the ball, let alone shoot it. I tried to make up for my rotten playing by being really aggressive. I would always defend the biggest kid on the other team. I would always get flattened and I would always get a bloody nose. The Boys and Girls Club has a great nurses' room. I know because I spent more time in there than on the court. The nurse was a Vietnamese girl lady, and because none of the kids could pronounce her name, they called her Skimmy. Kimmy didn't know anything about basketball or any other American sports, but she was nice and had a pretty smile. By the last game and my 12th nosebleed, Skimmy was my friend. It was she who finally helped me become a better player. Mr. Sheck, she said one Saturday, I watch you play. You always get hurt. Why do you play that way? Why don't you take advantage of what you are? I watch you. You are fast. You are speedier than a meteor. Why don't you get faster? What Skimmy had said kind of made sense. It made a lot of sense. From then on, I never walked any place, I ran. And when I ran, I dribbled a basketball. I dribbled in the house until my mom yelled at me. I dribbled in the driveway and I dribbled to the bus stop to go to school. I dribbled at school whenever I could. Kids still made fun of me, but I was running so fast I couldn't hear half of what they said. All through the heat of the summer, I ran and dribbled and ran. And Skimmy was right. I got faster and faster and better. Come the end of September, I was waiting as usual for them to unlock the Boys and Girls Club. As usual, I got chosen last. But this year I got to play. The team captain, Louis Bidwell, didn't want me on his team at all, but I was last and he was last. He was stuck. There was a new rule this year that everybody got to play in every game. With our team down 6 points and with only 4 minutes to go, Lewis, by the rule, had to put me in or forfeit the game. With a loud groan, he took out Sally Brown. Just stay out of the way, he threatened. I didn't stay out of the way. I got in the way in a big way. The first time the other team started down the court, I slipped in there fast and stripped the ball away. Just like that, I was dribbling the other way. Lewis was running behind me, shouting, "Shoot it, shoot it." There was a guard in front of me, his big arms spread out like an octopus. I planted my foot and started up, but I didn't shoot. Instead, I passed that ball just as hard as I. He didn't expect it. The ball hit him right in the gut, and his eyes bulged out in surprise and pain. But I got to give it to Louis. At least he had the sense to shoot it. Swish! All net. The rest of the game went like that. I got the ball, I raced down the court and passed off to Louis. We won because of me. We won.